Good afternoon. Now, I would take this opportunity to introduce to you all our next speaker, Mr. Abhijit Jorvekar. Sir, may I have your permission to begin? Thank you. Sir is a business manager with a proven experience in multiple domains. Sir is a graduate engineer with MBA in marketing and computer management. Sir has a slightly successful track record in market development. He has also worked in direct as well as channel sales and marketing. He has exposure to various products and service industries, which include industrial automation, product and services, language, software solutions, and IT security. In Quick Heal, Sir has been an initiator and a strategic planner and has worked to make Quick Heal a market leader in Soho and SMB business in India. Sir is a global trotter and has traveled extensively. His current goal is to establish Quick Heal as a major player in global security industry and lead the security organization foray in enterprise and mobile security. I would request Sir to kindly enlighten the batch.
Okay. Sure. Hello. Okay, so am I audible to everybody? Okay, so a very great good morning to all of you. And let me first of all apologize for being late, but it was absolutely out of my control. There was a horrible traffic jam pretty close to the college, and I got badly stuck up in it. So without wasting much time, I learned that you got another session, and I believe it's going to start around 1:30. So let's just move ahead quickly. So friends, I have an option. I can either speak about what could be opportunities and what kind of opportunities exist in sales domain for people with MBA, or I can speak more about marketing and IT, and stuff like that. So guys, I would like you to tell me what would you be interested in talking or knowing more about. So rather than me taking the call, why don't you guys quickly tell me? So maybe we'll just do a quick poll. So how many of you would like to hear about maybe sales? I would build on this opportunities in sales and marketing and IT, and then build upon what are the kind of qualities you need. So how many of you would like to hear that? And the other is where I would talk about, hey, the IT and marketing, that's a topic. It's a very broad topic, but very interesting, very happening. All of us are actually, seeing it happen all around us. So that's the other one. So how many for one? The first option. Please raise your hands. And how many for the second option? Okay, hey guys. How many for the first? Please raise your hands. Okay, and how many? I think the quorum's clear. There are more people who are interested in the second topic. No worries, guys. What I'll do is, I'll talk about the second topic, but I'll try to also speak a bit about the first one. So I don't know. You might have to skip your lunch break a bit, or take a smaller lunch break. So that's how we could try and manage it. So. Okay, friends, so what is a job, or what do you end up doing after you complete your MBA? I believe all of you would end up looking for some kind of opportunity, sales, marketing, okay, or some of your finance guys, or HR, or whatever. But see, there's one very important crux, which nobody should actually forget, when you're doing any kind of business study. End of the day, it's not about being a great HR guy. Okay, just you should be a great HR guy or a great finance guy or whatever. But as you move up in your life, what you'll realize is the most successful people you meet are not really people who are just experts in their own domain. They are not experts in their own domain, rather they know their domain very well, but they are people who tend to have a very broad understanding of the business and the overall socio-economic aspects as well. That is something you will come across. So, hey, so you say, I'm a great accountant, or I'm a great finance professional, I know my financial management like anything. Hey, so, the end of the, you start your career and you'll soon realize you get stuck up into something. Or you say, I'm a great sales guy. I'll close sales, I'll build up numbers, I'll achieve my targets, I'll take my incentives. Here you'll remain a sales guy all of your life. Something similar applies even to HR guys. Any HR people who plan to specialize in HR over here? Nobody? Okay, there are a few. So even in HR, hey, how does it work for you? You say, I'm a great HR guy, so I know how to recruit the right kind of talent. I know how to motivate them, ensure that there's a career path in the organization for them. But where does that all take you? So, unless you know organizational goals, unless you know where the industry is going, unless you know what's going to be the long-term perspective or overall the way the economy is heading, not just locally, but at a broad level nationally or globally, it's very tough for you to really build up a strong foundation and build on that later. So that's very crucial. So this is one thing I would really like to stress when I start this communication with you. Ensure, don't at all remain short-sighted. Okay? There's nothing wrong, when people come for any postgraduate course in management, the primary objective for everybody, is to complete their postgraduate course and then try to get a great job. It is, I would say, hey, nothing wrong, the way we Indians are raised, most of the people who come here definitely aspire to, get a great job. Or some of you might have a family business and you would like to join in the family business and make it bigger. But I think majority of you fundamentally have come here, to enhance your professional skills, the way you move ahead in life. And that is where the first statement that I made, hey, to be successful, just ensuring that you have great skills in your core domain is not going to suffice. That's not going to really make you successful. To be successful, you need to really have a much broader understanding. Note this very, very strongly and ensure. And to do this, what does one do? Hey, so I always tell people, you guys are very lucky. You guys are very lucky. You are in an age where, knowledge is at tip of your fingers. You have your mobile, you have your laptops, you have the internet, and then all kinds of sources, to just collect information. Okay, so anyway, information or data is, I would say, actually, what you see around you is data. You get data, you can have access to data in all kinds of formats. It's up to you that you actually collect that data and process into right kind of information which will be useful for your personal understanding or your personal knowledge gathering, or to build upon knowledge. So that's very crucial. Now so when I talk about this, as I said, this is something I really would like to share with students. I spent short time of my career teaching students full time, about 6 months, and always saw one thing very clearly, that people came to a management institution only seeking a job, and I strongly felt, hey guys, don't look at this 2 years only from a perspective of getting a job. Enrich your own understanding of the overall ecosystem. Try to learn as much as possible. See, the MBA course is very interesting. It's a cross-functional course. So if you're from commerce, you'll see you learn marketing over here. You'll learn some computers over here. So if you come from, let's say, an engineering background, you will learn accounting. It's actually like Greek or Latin to for an engineer. So you will learn a lot of cross-functional things. It's a very cross-functional course. You learn about HR. You learn about human behavior. You learn about communication. So this is a very cross-functional course and a right platform for everybody to really learn, in a cross-functional way and enhance it. Now moving ahead, I'll talk a bit about what's happening around currently. Where is the industry going? What's happening around us? So, guys, 20 years back, close to 20 years back, not really 20 years back, when we used to think about doing business, it was a very different scenario. We talked about products. All of you, the book is still being used. I recall that. There is a book called Philip Kotler. Everybody still uses it for sales and marketing. And there are a lot of other standard books, standard issues as they call them in the army. A lot of such issues. You get those books, you read them, you learn from them. They are great books, let me tell you that. But there's been a fundamental change in the way business happens these days. When I say this, I don't mean to say you still, you decide on a business category that you intend to be in. You get into services, you get into manufacturing or whatever you intend to do. You still deliver a product to a targeted customer and you get money from them. Okay, that's still the fundamental nature of business. Business still gets carried in the same way. But what has changed is the way a customer can reach out, or the way you can reach out to your customers, and way in which customers get to know about the products. The customers get to know about what they need and what are the options that they might have for those services and products. That there's been a fundamental change in the overall way in which we do business because of these things. And all of this has also been further compounded by the fact that the overall capabilities that technology is offering you has scaled up to such a level that we just cannot imagine it sitting, in a normal course. It's very tough for us to comprehend, hey, is this something that I can do? Last year I was here and we carried on a small exercise which I think people found very interesting. We tried to just build on a small business model on, we took up a small case where somebody among the group was interested in doing business on his or her own, and we said, hey, how could you actually make or build that business, reach out to customers? So I don't want to do that exercise again, because it's pretty time consuming and maybe we don't have enough time on our hands this time. So when I say this, that there are many different ways. Perhaps the biggest disruption which has happened around is social media. So now social media is a very broad term, but can somebody tell me when I refer to social media, what am I talking about? Raise your hands, or you can just stand up randomly. Who can tell us what is social media that we are referring to? Anybody? Yeah? Okay, can you share some examples of what is social? And you can speak loud. Hey, why don't you hand her a mic?
We can
It's off.
if we can sell any product to advertise in social media is another source and share the thoughts of in social media.
Okay, sure, thanks. Anybody else who would like to? Yeah, this gentleman. Let him speak. Raising his hand.
My name is Supratik Sanghi. I am from Calcutta, West Bengal. So examples of social media is we can share on Facebook, Twitter.
Okay, sure. Okay,
Yeah.
great. This lady over here, she would like to say something.
Morning, sir. My name is Nyanata Bagmare. I'm from Nagpur. The examples of social media is LinkedIn. We can connect lot of networks to many companies, and Twitter accounts are there that will get updated with many of the breaking news, and also Facebook.
Sure, thanks. Yes, okay. So guys, that's social media, in a very restricted way when we talk about. So, when we talk about social media is, actually, yes, for most of us people, even for me, for a normal person, what's social media? Social media, you have Facebook, LinkedIn, and there used to be Orkut, which is pretty much dead right now. And then there is Instagram, which some of you might be using, and then so on and so forth. There are a lot of such platforms. Basically, what is social media? Social media are platforms which enable you to connect with organizations, rather with individuals, share your views, or yes, they can also be utilized for commercial purposes. But what we are looking or talking about right now here is that, hey, the proliferation of social media has fundamentally made things very easy for doing business, but at the same time, it has also created humongous or huge challenges to do business. See, when we think of social media, there are some great, I always like to quote this example, I was personally, at some point of time, I'm a sales guy, but because, due to the usual, professional responsibilities, you don't tend to get aware. But on some platform, maybe 4 or 5 years back, I happened to meet, I share this example, some of you might be aware of this. I happened to meet a guy from Domino's Pizza. I hope all of you are aware of this chain, Domino's Pizza. How many of you ordered it online? Okay, so you ordered it at some point of time online. How many of you have tried buying it and did not buy it? You went online, decided he wanted to buy a Domino's Pizza and then didn't buy it. How many of you happen to get into that? There are few of you. So what are the advantages of discarding the cart when you buy Domino's? Can you tell me this, gentleman? Tell me, so you went on a Domino's, on the Domino's website, you tried buying it and you didn't buy it. So what are the advantages of doing that? Anybody?
Hello, my name is Somyaranjan Das. Sir, I was just trying how to check on that, how to order that, just seeing how to do the steps in ordering a pizza or something.
So what happened? So you discarded the cart. So was it great or something interesting happened after that?
Nothing.
Nothing happened. Okay, the next gentleman. Did you have a great experience after that? Hey. Okay, so that's the fun part of it, This is something interesting which I learned. Hey, you can take your seat. Thanks. Try this, okay? Go to a Domino's website, try ordering a pizza, discard the cart, okay? Ensure that you are registered on Domino's website. Discard the cart. And you'll realize if you discarded the cart, next day, immediately, if you're online, you'll start seeing a lot of advertisements from Domino's. Okay? This is called targeted advertisement. What is this called? This is called targeted advertisement. See, there is inclination from a prospective buyer to buy that product. Okay? So from here, we go to the next level. You start seeing advertisements. Now here is a chance for conversion. I'm not going to get too much into technicalities of this thing. Let me tell you, there might be some engineers over here or people who might have worked in online firms. So I'm not getting to get into details of these things. I'm just telling you examples of how this whole thing works. First of all, you will start seeing advertisements. Okay, so that's targeted marketing. You see an advertisement, but that advertisement is directed only towards you. Hey, that's an advertisement with a beautiful picture of a pizza. Okay? You don't click on it. You are a smart guy or you're a smart girl. You say, hey, no, I'm not going to click on this one. I don't want it. It looked attractive, but maybe Pizza Hut does it better. So, don't take it. Wait for maybe 14 hours, 18 hours. They'll still ensure that you get to see an ad. The only difference would be the next ad that you see would carry a coupon of maybe 15% discount. It will carry a discount of 15%. Okay, click on this and get a 15% discount on your pizza. Guys, we are taking targeted marketing to the next level. You don't click on it. You're smart, real smart. Okay, I could have used the next word, but okay. So, but a real smart. You don't click on it. 15% moves to 30%, and on occasions, if they are running a scheme, it can move as far as buy one and get one free. I believe most of you must have seen that. But hey, sometimes it's targeted. Not everybody gets it. It is you who gets it. Not everybody who's in a Domino's shop or who's a prospective buyer of Domino's online, not everyone gets that offer. It is you who gets it because they want you to buy that product. So this is a great example of targeted marketing. And that's the norm. Now when I tell you about this, isn't this such a great opportunity for anybody who is in business? Forget you are a sales guy, marketing guy, HR guy, whatever guy. See, as far as generalist is concerned, when I say generalist, I am not talking about a HR generalist, I am talking about generalist, a generalist management guy. The way I look at it is, hey, I want to recruit an accountant. Where do accountants go? What kind of websites? I want to recruit a guy for finance. Where do they go? What kind of websites do they visit? Let me start advertising over there. What is that? Again, that's targeted marketing. I can recruit using that, I can sell using that, I can buy using that. See, targeted marketing or targeted platforms are very interesting, okay? And they go much further. See, I talked about general websites. Fundamentally, it's simple, There's something called as cookies, but let's not get into it. There are ways of doing things. There are technologies which ensure that if you have shown interest in any category of products or services, these people, especially Google's got great technology on that, they can ensure that they have complete knowledge of your buying behavior, of your overall behavior, and this information is easily available in the ecosystem. You can buy it and have a very, very targeted kind of offering to the individual. Now, while this is easy, this is also very bad. Why do I say is this very bad? Hey, just remember, if Domino's can do it, Pizza Hut can do it, Eagle Boys can also do it. Actually, there are maybe few hundred pizza chains globally, so there are markets which are crowded. So if they can do it, everybody can do it. The biggest difference here is, and the advantage here is, and that's where the challenges come in, online can be very cost effective. The reason why I say it can be, I'm not saying it is very cost effective, it can be very cost effective is because it's targeted. So, let's say I want to do a campaign only for IIEBM students, and maybe there are a few more management institutions in this vicinity. I set up a great pizza shop or a great fast food outlet over here, and I say I only want to cater people in this locality, and I have a limited budget. I don't have, my pockets are not as deep as that of, let's say, Domino's or a Pizza Hut, and still I want to actually counter and get things done over here. So that's feasible. So here the dynamics of the game starts changing. So Domino's of the world are no longer competing with only another Pizza Hut or another Eagle Boys or so on and so forth, but they start competing with another Himanshu's Pizza. Because if Himanshu is a smart guy and is somebody who is interested in harnessing the strength of online, he can actually do such a thing. He can actually create a campaign, he can actually take up an agency or work with online guys and ensure that he does a targeted campaign where those ads are being seen only in Wakad and so on and so forth area or part of Pune. You can actually go really, really to that level. So that's where things can really take you up to. So this is very interesting. So it's when I say there's a great opportunity, there's also a great challenge, because the restrictions which the traditional media had are no longer there. They no longer exist. How many of you are from Pune? Some of you from Pune? Okay. There was a girl from Nagpur. Any more people from Nagpur? Very few. So any city from where a lot of people are from? Indore. You feel there are a lot of people. Now I can see only 3 hands being lifted. Okay, few more. Okay. Anyway. So okay guys, I'll skip that part. Guys, when I say I would have taken example of that city, it's easy to correlate it. But guys, you are in Pune. I believe you guys are in Pune now since last Maybe a month or so? 1 week, okay. Okay. Well, okay, let me tell you. So problem or the issues with traditional media is that it's very consolidated. Okay. I'll give example of Pune because I can't see people from a single location over here. There are guys from Kolkata, so you can. Hey, thanks. So you have your Telegraph. That's a very Kolkata newspaper. And then Telegraph guys also have a Bengali newspaper. I think that's some Anand Bazar Patrika. And then Indore guys have their own Dainik Bhaskar. Yeah. And then like Nagpur's got Lokmat in Marathi, and then we in Pune we have Sakal. So guys, if I try to do a great advertisement in one of these newspapers, the budgets are so crazy. A lot of startups will not even have that kind of capital to build their business on. So that's where we are coming on. And as opposed to that, the ecosystem that I'm talking about, when I said I want to do an online campaign only for people in Wakad and so on so forth area, the budgets can be significantly low if I'm a smart guy and I know my TG. So when we talk about online marketing, there's another aspect to it. It's also very, very targeted in terms of, when I say, hey, I just can't recall right, but the segment we talking about, so hey, am I trying to target males, females, age, the kind of income group they come from, the kind of socio-economic backgrounds they come from. You can actually collect more and more information even on that as you try drilling down on that. So you can actually, so if I have less budget, I'll be more specific. I'll try to address only a smaller and a much more targeted segment than I would have normally tried to do in mainstream media or if I had very deep pockets. So my friend over here, he went because he wanted to check out how an online system or how an online website works. So Domino's got great pockets. Actually, Domino's might have followed up. Sorry, I think this is my pocket. So Domino's might have, actually spent that kind of money and, followed up with him. But in case I don't have the kind of money, I would have said age 18 to 35, employed. Actually, I would have tried to, hey, it's tough, getting really drilling down to that level, but you can drill down to that level if you are ready to spend money and buy right kind of data or connect with right kind of agencies. It's very, very targeted, as I said. So that's where online takes you. There are advantages, there are disadvantages. You end up competing even with smaller guys, and it's absolutely open. It's not like if I go to, let's say, Times of India and I tell them I want to book front page advertisement all across India, the kind of pockets and the kind of strength you need to do that kind of an advertisement, a small company would never dare to do that, and Times of India guys would not perhaps even entertain him. They are very, most of the mainstream media guys tend to be pretty rough. But that's how things work. So that's something about, the way marketing has evolved these days. At the same time, this has also created numerous opportunities, okay, for anybody who's trying to get into this domain. One reason is online marketing. When we talk about it, while it might sound very technical in nature, if you look around and if you try to study profiles of people who are into online marketing, they are not necessarily ingenious. Online marketing, see, it's end of the day, what is it? It is marketing. I know guys who are lawyers, they are computer science graduates, they are commerce graduates, and they are mechanical engineers, and then there are, economics majors, all kinds of people doing online marketing. It's about the interest that, one has in that kind of profession. So it's about, hey, so what do you intend to do? It's about matrices. It's about understanding the dynamics of that business. What's my target? It's very focused, as I said. Hey, who is my prospective buyer? What's my target buyer? Where does he reside? What is the kind of budget he has? what is the kind of product or service that he is looking for, and that's if I intend to offer him that, how do I reach out to him? It's about building the right kind of models and working on them, then identifying the right solutions to reach out to them. Okay. We won't waste a lot of time. Why don't we do a small discussion, okay? So let's say we plan to introduce a product, okay, pan India. We'll select some product category. We won't take food. Food is, very common and perhaps, toughest category. Actually, food is a very tough category to work in. So let's say garment, okay. So let's say I'm a garment manufacturer, and let's pick a kind of garment which practically everybody uses. So let's say I'm introducing a new brand of denims in Indian market. So what should be, let's say I'm a startup, okay. I'm introducing a new concept in market. I'm new to market. So first of all, should I even get into manufacturing and selling of denims or jeans, is what some people would like to call it? Should I even get into it? Hey, I want you guys to answer. Should I get into it? You are a businessman. Hey, how many of you are from business families, have their own businesses at back home? Okay. Hey, what kind of business does your family own? Garments. Okay, we have a garment guy over here. Great. So what do you guys manufacture? Uniforms. Okay. Anybody else in garments? Yeah, one more guy. So what do you guys manufacture? Saris. Okay, there are a lot of girls wearing saris over here. Let's try to sell saris to all of them. Okay. So let's ditch denims. Let's do saris. Okay. So guys, I plan to introduce a brand of saris, whatever. And I want to take it really, really big. I don't want to be a local player, just manufacture and sell them. I want to create a brand out of saris. The last time I recall a brand, I'm not talking about a generic category, I'm talking about a brand which I saw, which was actually selling saris across India and under a brand name, was a brand called Parag or Praful. And there was only one more brand I really recall which did a pan-India brand, activity, and that was Garden. You might remember your mothers used to wear Garden saris. Garden, Silk Milk, Surat. I recall only two brands in India which really tried to take a sari brand across India. I could look at it in a way, I would say, guys, bad category. If nobody's done it, it must be very tough to do it. It must be tough. Very tough to differentiate, isn't it? Sari is a tough garment, You look at all the girls wearing a sari over here, every garment is different than the other one. The patterns are different, the colors are different, the fabric, the material, and everything else is different. So now I say, if I want to build on a sari brand across India, is it a right garment to take up? Who says no? Okay, no. No problem. You can say no. Yes, so you say yes. No. Why? Do you have a sari factory? But then, the fact is, see, when you are an entrepreneur or when you are a business planner, you might think the other way. You might say, hey guys, only 2 people have done it. Why don't I do it? Maybe that's a category which is untouched. See, maybe, this thing intended, if I use a term. So I say, most of the people who manufacture saris in Surats are traditional baniyas, and maybe they lack the vision to take the brand across India or make it big. Let's say I am an MBA, new generation MBA, and I want to build a sari brand. I think positively, I'll say, guys, only 2 guys have done it in the past, so let me be the 3rd one and somebody who's made it really successful. Can't you think this way? You could do a thing, you can think that way, isn't it? You can make it successful. So let's say we decide we want to do a pan-India sari campaign, build a new brand. How would we go ahead? Yes, yes. You also do garments?
It's hair oil business.
Pardon?
Hair oil. Coconut
Hair oil. Sorry, I heard heroin. I was afraid for a few minutes. Okay, you do hair oil. Okay.
So, if we want to establish, if we want to sell our sarees across India, so we could first sell our samples to the garments over there, the retailer shop. If the garments, if our garments are good, if the quality is good, then demand will come. Then there will be more supply.
Yes, right way of putting it. Thanks, thanks. Thank you so much. My friend, hey, forgot your name. What's your name? My God, you got a big name. So Mr. Sanghi over here has a great idea, great thought. And I absolutely admire and like that thought, okay? I like that thought. See, that's the way I would do business if I want to build up my brand in next 10 years. A pan-India brand in 10 years or maybe 5+ years. There's nothing wrong in that strategy, let me tell you that. That's the way lot of brands or products have been built. You know, somebody created something, they took it to the sellers, they said, hey guys, or intermediates. Typically, business has been driven, or historically it is being driven, you know, by intermediates. You know, we call them agents, you call them a shopkeeper, you call them whatever you would like to call them. Or they are distributors, and then they are dealers, and then there are other smaller guys. So typically, historically, that's the way things have been happening. But I'm a smart guy, I'm an MBA. Hey, will come. I'm sorry, I will just move. I'm an MBA, you know, so I should be doing things differently, isn't it? I should be doing things differently. One of my colleagues, you know, used to joke. He said, MBA का मतलब क्या होता है? मुझे बहुत आता है. Hey guys, jokes apart, I strongly believe, you know, when you guys come here, as I stressed upon initially, you should have absolute clarity. It's to make the way you think different than the way it happens traditionally. And when we say this, we are not here to be Einsteins or, you know, Newtons. We are here to ensure that we know what's happening around us, know the right platforms, know the right tools, the right tricks of trade to move ahead and take our or the business that we are associated with or we work for to the next level. That's typically what MBAs do. Some might be in a different mold. They might even work for NGOs. But do you know, how many of you know that most of the NGOs have a marketing team? We talk about NGOs like, let's say, Medicines Sans Frontiers or CRY and so on and so forth. Do you know they all have their marketing teams? And they spend 15% of their budgets on marketing, because if they don't spend that much of budget, where will they get the money to do the social work from? Okay, things apart. What I'm trying to tell you is, so hey, end of this, you guys should be in a position to think about from a current perspective. I'm creating a new brand of sari. I want to take it national. I don't have budget to really advertise in Times of India front page and create a pan-India impression. Maybe I don't even have enough budget to do a telegraph. Telegraph is incidentally not a right paper to talk to women in Kolkata or in West Bengal. I think it would be Anand Bazar Patrika most probably, and so on and so forth. In Pune it would be something else. But most of those, you know, front page ads would cost you around 25 lakh rupees, you know. Guys, why are we forgetting here the Flipkarts and Amazons of the world? How many of you shop online? Forget Domino's Pizza. Shop online? So what all do you buy online? Hey, shoes, clothes, cosmetics. Yes, there are a lot of girls over here. Cosmetics. What else? Electronics, mobile, bags, laptops, everything. How many of you buy food online? Food, I'm talking food, groceries. I'm not talking about a pizza. Buy anything बस. तूर की दाल खरीदनी है, चावल खरीदना है, जाओ ऑनलाइन फल खरीदना है, यहाँ पे अवेलेबल नहीं है. मुझे ठंडी के दिनों में आम खाना है, तो मुझे आम खाना है तो मैं ऑनलाइन जाके जहाँ पे मिल रहा है वहाँ से आम खरीद लूँगा और ले लूँगा. Hey, that's feasible. That's feasible. You can do it. See a guy, so that's why I said, I'm a new generation guy. मुझे बहुत आता है because I've learned from things happening around me. So here is where my new generation guy with his own sari brand thinks different. He says, why should I follow the traditional way? How many of you been to Lakshmi Road? No. I know one shop in Indore. वो बड़ा सा दुकान है. वो कौन सा है? वो एक चौराहे पे है. क्या उसका नाम? बोलो यार, जल्दी से बोलो, हाथ मत खड़े ये करो. हाँ, Pakiza. Why should I go to a Pakiza? Sit down, sit down. Why should I go to a Pakiza and tell them to sell my sari? उसको पहले तो वो बोलेगा, बॉस ऐसा कुछ चलता नहीं है, मेरे पास इतने ऑलरेडी 20 कंपनी से साड़ी आता है. फिर वो साड़ी वाला है ना, उसको मैं पैसा नहीं देता हूँ. वो मेरे से आके जब माल बिकता है ना, तब मैं उसको पैसा देता हूँ. Hey, am I right, my friend? That's the way. Some of you are shop owners, so you don't pay up your vendors. You'll pay your vendor after 90 days. तुम उसको बोलोगे भैया तेरा माल जब खत्म होगा ना. I don't have that kind of capability. I say I got tight budget. I want my buyer to pay as soon as he buys my product. Why don't I go online? Why don't I go online? I can go online. Now, girls, tell us about websites which are typically visited by women. I know your mothers might be visiting websites. Women who like to wear saris. Aren't such websites around? There are such websites around. There are such websites which women would be frequenting. You know your TG, isn't it? You know your target group. I would put my product on the right kind of websites. I would put my products on an e-store. See, if I can buy mangoes, or if I can buy dry fruits, or even sabzi online, why can't I buy a sari online? What is my goal? To build an pan-India brand. I don't want to sell only in West Bengal or Madhya Pradesh or Chhattisgarh or Karnataka. I want to sell across India. That's been my goal. I want to build a national sari brand, isn't it? So why don't I go online? Then I start identifying what's the right way to go online. Most importantly, I'll create my own web page. The start to do e-commerce. Or see, for that reason, let me tell you one thing. Even if you are in traditional business, some of you must have seen your fathers talking, those of you who run business, telling you, hey, I want to start my own website. Somebody came to my shop or office and he told me, it would be such a great thing to build a website. People can then come and instead of coming all the way to my shop, they can see what's available in my shop, what's great about it, and then only if they like it, they can come to the shop and then buy it. And then also I don't have to worry about the number of salespeople I employ in my shop. All the stuff is available easily for this thing viewing. I can see all the designs of all the sarees and everything. Even if I sell some accessories and everything is available. Isn't that great? See guys, and ideas are something which really expand beyond what you can think. So I say, if I'm anyway building a website, why don't I start selling accessories? Why don't I start selling cosmetics? Somebody might say, instead of doing only a sari website, I will also add a lot of other stuff which typically women buy and make it much broader, start increasing my, footprint. But let me tell you, there's again a challenge when I start doing like this. The challenge is I lose my focus. What was my initial goal? Be a national brand selling branded sarees, isn't it? So let me not do that. If I was a shopkeeper like Amazon or Flipkart, what are Amazons and Flipkarts? They're shops. They're shops. You don't want to be a shop. You want to create your own brand. They are brands in themselves, but they are shops with their own brand name. So you go a different route. You create your website, you create your online gateway, you create payment gateways. And at the same time, very importantly, we're talking about that's something you need to expand on. What's going to be my strategy to reach out to my prospective customer? Your customer is everywhere, isn't it? I'm talking about, hey, sarees, I see still a lot of young people buying sarees, wearing occasionally. Indians still like to wear sarees. I think even young girls like to wear sarees occasionally. Even if they don't wear it, they'll have at least half a cupboard full of sarees, isn't it? Because they just want to have some of them, So that's how typically Indians buy, So even in case of guys, even if you don't wear a kurta, you will have at least 5 kurtas in your cupboard just because, iski shaadi mein le liya, uski shaadi mein le liya, iska ye function tha to le liya, dost ki shaadi mein le liya. So that's how Indians typically buy clothes. So where we are coming from is, you need to identify your target segment. Understand where they buy from, what's the right place to reach out to them, what's the right value proposition with which you can reach out to them. I don't know any sari brand which has gone online till date, which says that we are only online sari brand. We do exclusive products which are not available in any shops in your city. Come online and buy those. Isn't that a great value proposition? See, the product could be different. We took up sari because we just came over here, it just kind of happened. It could have been something different. But sari is an interesting proposition. I said only 2 people have done a pan-India brand, interesting category. Everybody in India uses a sari. When I say everybody, across India, you name a state, I think barring bit of Punjab and J&K, most of Indians, you name it, starting from Tamil Nadu, Kerala, even in northeastern part of our country, I've traveled across India globally. I've traveled to more than 25 countries. But anyway, India, I traveled to practically all the states, barring some of the more remote northeastern states. Everybody wears a sari. Such a great potential. That's the way I would look at it. Anyway, so you build on this. Now moving ahead, I will take a long time. Okay. There's one more very interesting aspect to all of this. See, when we go to identifying or collecting data on our prospective buyers, Google or the information available online is really, really great. Targeted marketing is not an imagination or a dream. It is very much possible. It is you as a planner, as a business owner or an executor who needs to have clarity on whom you want to reach out to. If you have that, there's always data available in the online ecosystem on which you can build and decide that this is what I can reach out to. My friends tell me, when my friends tell me, I'm talking, these are my professional acquaintances. Google can tell about an individual if he or she is hungry. Why? Because if you are hungry and if you are online, you go online and you start searching for food. You might not like to buy it, but you will start searching for food. You will start entering pizza. If you are a Punite like me, you will try vada pav. You will like to start, you like to see beautiful pictures of food if you are hungry. Okay, and then start salivating after that. If you are getting married, you know what you would start looking for. If you are a man, if you're planning to go for a traditional set of clothes, you know what you would start looking for. You will start looking for those traditional churidar, whatever you call it, jabba, kurtas and silk stuff. You start looking for those special shoes. If you are a girl, you'll start looking for those shadi wali saris and cosmetics and so on and so forth. If you're getting married, if there's a guy, he'll start looking for a vacation, for a honeymoon vacation. See, this is something which Google captures. Google has all this information. So do you know there are websites which target people who are getting married? You can actually reach out to people to sell them something because there are websites which are built by marriage planners. You can go and plan your marriage over there. What I'm saying is, in terms of positioning or in terms of reach, there is nothing which is going to prevent you from going to that next level in terms of business plan, even if it's purely an online business. Whatever exists in the physical ecosystem, उससे काफ़ी ज़्यादा, considerably more than that exists in the online system. In fact, it's much easier to do that when it comes to technology and execution. Only thing is you need clarity in terms of who is your target segment and what your offering is going to be and the way it's going to be different. हम इतनी देर साड़ी की बात कर रहे थे. This lady said no, bad product to offer. I said great product to offer, only 2 people have tried it. Hey, I need absolute clarity. Why is my sari going to be different? I come to a traditional marketeer's garb now. I need to have absolute clarity on my business plan. Why is my product different than that being sold by somebody else? Or than the product available in market? Only then can I build on all these plans. That's very crucial. So the basic marketing plan still doesn't lose its relevance. It still remains there. Unless you have a great core, you can't build on great marketing plans or great plans for that business plans. The basic core always has to be good, not just good, it has to be great. Okay, so on this note, we'll cut it off. Okay, so if you guys have any queries, can we take few questions? We can answer them maybe. Yes, yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
My name is Asim Toppo from Ranchi, Jharkhand.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is to sir, if I am
You can
organizing,
speak louder.
if I am organizing new product and there are competitors of my product, same product in the market, now what are the strategies that I must make?
Hey, my friend from Ranchi, I didn't get your name, so so my friend
Asim Toppo.
Asim, you're
Asim,
Asim.
yes, sir.
Okay, so Asim, have a seat. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so Asim, ideally, if somebody asks me that I want to do a Me Too product, I will say don't do it. Unless you have a sales strategy to drive it. Okay, when I say sales strategy, I would say boss, मेरे पास इतना पैसा है कि मैं अगर दूसरा आदमी है 100 रुपए में प्रोडक्ट बेच रहा हूँ तो मैं 50 रुपए में प्रोडक्ट बेच दूंगा. That's a sales strategy. That's a strategy. Do you want to do that kind of business? You can do that kind of business. Okay, that's one way of doing it. Other is, you can always identify minor differences even in the existing successful product category. There are ways of differentiating, okay? There are ways of differentiating even in food categories, or even in product categories which already exist, where you say I differentiate. So we'll take a very simple example. See, there are toothpastes which claim they are 100% vegetarian. Great offering in a country like India, where there are a lot of people who claim to be 100% vegetarians. I used to be a vegetarian till 6 months back. Then I started eating an egg. So what I'm just trying to tell you guys is, that's a minor differentiator, isn't it? So you can still create differences in your products or offerings, and they could be minor. There has to be a convenience factor. There has to be something. There has to be a delivery model, which is a convenience factor, incidentally. Or there has to be a minor difference in your offering, which can help you in then targeting a certain part of that, broad, addressable or targetable market that we are talking about. There always has to be that clarity. Don't go to market with an absolutely Me Too product. I come out with a washing powder, I remove stains. Everybody does remove stains. So what's the differentiator? I want to do a washing powder which removes stains. So if I make an advertisement where I know very specifically that there is a certain type of stain which no washing powder is able to remove, and in certain user groups in India, that's a common problem, I can still do it. I can maybe have a washing powder which is used only by commercial laundries which wash clothes which are used by workers in factories which have a lot of dirt and grime and grease. I don't have the mass segment to cater to, but I can only work on those people on those laundries who have clothes which have a lot of grease on them. I'm giving an example. I don't know if this is actually a situation, but that's the way you have to differentiate. Guys, an absolute me too, वो कैसे होता है ना, आप किसी भी सिटी में जाओगे तो हर कोने पे एक मेडिसिन की दुकान होते हैं ना. इंडिया में इतनी मेडिसिन की दुकानें हैं, आप कहीं पे भी जाओ, बाकी कुछ ना मिले आपको दवाई जरूर मिलेगी. और वो दवाई की दुकान शुरू करता है और फिर वो राम भरोसे शुरू रहती है. इफ यू आर लकी पीपल विल वॉक इन, इफ यू आर नॉट लकी पीपल विल नॉट वॉक इन. Is there any differentiation between the shop which is next door to you? Only thing you could, in fact, see, even in medicine business, I was surprised to see this. People have relations. People have relations. They build strong relations with their customers. So, hey, so, there is this, जोशी अंकल कैसे है आप, आइए आपका मेडिसिन वही ना, आपका वो बीपी वाली गोली है और वो आपका डायबिटीज वाला ये है, हाँ मैंने वो रखा हुआ है बाजू में, शॉर्टेज था उसका, मैंने आपके लिए रखा हुआ है. That's the way small time business people run their business. But let's see, hey, otherwise what's the differentiator? So me too categories are actually a no go. Avoid them unless you have clarity on why you are getting into it, or you don't mind getting average returns from your business and very minor profits. Have I kind of answered your question? Yeah? If you can speak loud, maybe.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, there's one. Yeah.
Pankaj Mandani and
Loud.
My name is Pankaj Mandani and I am from Gorakhpur, UP. So yes sir. My question to you is, as you have said, to launch a product in the market and being number one, we use the process of digital marketing. What concept would you like to bring in the market to attract the customer who do shopping offline?
Hey, as I said, I plan to be online because that would help me. See, if you recall the whole discussion, we were talking about not having deep pockets. Neither did we really talk about being number one from that perspective. What we said is, we wanted to build a great pan-India brand, a successful pan-India brand. See, the numbers are something which happen over a period of time, okay? You cannot have that, okay? You can say that I want to be number one, but that's not something you start planning for from the day one. The day one strategy is to reach out to customers and ensure that you have an offering which is different than what others are offering. Did you get what I said? Okay. So from day one, if you talked about offline customers, see, let me tell you something. Normally, most of the online brands at some point of time tend to get into offline category, especially, even surprisingly, that happens even in developed world. I was reading about this some time back, and do you know Amazon was some time back planning to maybe have a small shop somewhere in New York, or Flipkart plans to do a small shop in Bangalore. So most online players at some point of time, they try to have offline presence. See, let me tell you, offline is not dead. Let me tell you, offline is not dead. Offline is still great. The biggest challenge with offline or traditional businesses, you need deep pockets, and there's a long-term plan. See, my friend over here from Kolkata who does hair oil, he says we go to an individual shopkeeper and tell him to sell. You can sit down, please sit down, and tell him to sell my product. I can't build a national brand in a country like India if I follow that strategy. See, we followed that strategy to build Quick Heal in India, because online was not really happening, when we did it, maybe 5-6 years back or 10 years back. We actually, the way, and we took roughly 8 or 10 years to do that, let me tell you. We started in one city, we appointed partners, they sell, then we go to the next city, then the next city, the next city. And then and see, if you don't have the kind of money, see, otherwise, let's say you are somebody, you're a big brand, and you say, I have got a $1 billion, budget to establish, a distribution network across India. I just go to people across, this thing, and say, this is my value proposition. You start an exclusive shop for my product, and that's how you move ahead. Hey, that's not how it works. Not everybody is going to go out See, unless all of you are lucky enough and end up working with such a large company, and then you're lucky enough that they tell you to do a pan-India, activity at that level. See, they are a great. Hey, we forgot to talk about opportunities. I'll just quickly touch this. A lot of great opportunities these days, they lie with more smaller, or rather smaller, nimbler companies, Yes, Unilevers, Procter and Gamble's, and Hyundai's and Marutis of the world are still great companies to work for. But I don't know if you go to a campus where you have experienced guys around you, let me tell you, most of the people will aspire to join some kind of great new technology startup. That's what people like to do. If you're somebody who wants to do something interesting, something great, I'm pretty sure, छोटा सा example देता हूँ मैं आपको, the way it works. Do we have time? Sorry. I had this friend's friend, this happened when I was maybe in 12th standard. So this guy, he was those days, we used to have 12th board exams. So, हम 12th के results से पहले मिलते थे. We used to go out. There's a nice hill in Pune called Parvati. We used to go there every day morning, सुबह की walk होती थी, घूमने जाते थे. So he's a very arrogant guy, very smart. He had got into merit list, the board merit list in 10th. So I said, hey, that friend of yours is very arrogant. He said, यार वो थोड़ा ज़्यादा अकलमंद है, अच्छा है, उसका academics बहुत अच्छा है. Now what happened is, that guy scored really great in his 12th. Then he got into COEP, which is College of Engineering Pune. Now COEP is a historical, it's the oldest engineering college in India, if some of you know. It's still ranked among top 15-20 engineering colleges in India. It's a great engineering college. He got into that. He did his graduation in engineering. Then he joined telco. Getting into telco was considered to be a great thing, when I passed out my engineering. I'm talking about 90s, 95, so on. So he got into telco, he was very happy. I used to meet that guy sometimes, occasionally, because he was my friend's friend. But after he joined telco, about 6 months or a year later, I met him. And he was very, very normal. I said, hey, why is this guy so, slighted down? Why is he so, this thing, why has he lost that confidence of his? Then my friend was telling me, he said, this guy, reason why he was so confident was because of his past academics. But after he joined telco, there was a very interesting thing. He's a grad engineer from COEP, he's a ranker. But a lot of guys who are IITians over there, who are BTechs. Then there are a lot of guys who are postgraduates in engineering. Then there are a lot of guys who are postgraduates from IITs and done their MS, let's say from US. And then there are guys who are PhDs in engineering. So he just works under one of those guys. He just works under one of those guys, and there's nothing, he doesn't take any decisions. He just does something which somebody tells him to do. So, would you like to end up in that kind of an ecosystem? Okay, you say no, you might end up into that kind of ecosystem. Say, let me tell you one thing, guys. The competition out is very tough. So, it's not because we say we don't want to end up in such an ecosystem, you won't end up in such an ecosystem. You might end up. But what I'm trying to stress upon is the fact that if you end up working in one such organization, you might start with a great salary and so on and so forth. But the kind of opportunities, the kind of learning you might have over there might not really help you to build a long-term career path, really take it to the next level. So that's where, a lot of this exciting, new organizations. And when we say exciting, boss, it's not about, why not something, it need not be. I was talking about sari thing, wo bhi bahut sab kuch bada ho gaya. Let's say your friend tells you, let's start a restaurant on our own. Or let's start a food cart. Let me tell you, food cart guys earn more than a lot of people who work in professional companies. it could be an exciting opportunity, isn't it? It might be looked down upon in India, but what if it pays you more? It's a business. See, if somebody's got a great plan, you could actually build a business on that. What I'm trying to tell you guys is, see, if we change our outlook, nothing is low or mean, if we have clarity in terms of what you want to do. And I'll give you example, See, after I passed out, I worked in few organizations. Some of them are small, some were big, some had great international, alignments and so on and so forth. I realized I wasn't doing anything on my own. And then what happened is, I just left all of that. I was so frustrated, I just left all of that. And I started teaching for 6 months. Now that teaching was kind of a sabbatical for me. I said, boss, मैं पक गया हूँ. मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि मुझे जिंदगी में क्या करना है और मैं क्या करना चाहता हूँ. And while I was doing that, I was still trying to analyze and understand what I wanted to do. And then, one day I saw a small advertisement in newspaper from this company called Quick Heal Technologies. I said, let me try. Not a known name, but let me try. I had heard of this company somewhere because I was in IT selling at some point of time. I went there. It was a 2-room setup. पुरानी सी ऐसी जगह है, हायर्ड पुराना सा ऑफिस, लकड़ी की कुर्सियाँ पुरानी सी, 10-12 कंप्यूटर लगे हुए हैं, very young people in their early 20s working on programming. Okay. When I went there, I said, should I join this place? But then I said, hey, there's nothing to lose, let me try this. Okay, I was still a young guy when I did that. I'm talking about roughly 12-13 years back. So I joined that place. Yes, it was an organization with roughly 30 odd people selling their products only in Pune, barely managing to survive. All I can tell you is today we are a 1500 people company. We have offices at 30 places in Pune. 30 places we have our own office. We have offices in Tokyo, Dubai, Nairobi in Kenya, and Boston in the US. So that's where we are today. What I'm just trying to tell you is, now the fun is, I have been part of this journey, and in few places I can say I did it. Not everything, it's always teamwork. Let me tell you one more thing. Success is very rarely individual stuff, it is always teamwork. This is one more mantra, it just came out in the course of discussion, but always remember success is team. So, but hey, I was part of it. We took it to that level. So that's the fun, that's the fun. So have that clarity. There could be very interesting opportunities which might not necessarily lie with the brands and big names that we know about. And it could take you to the next level. Anybody else? Hey, do we have time? 5 minutes. Take the question from the lady and maybe from that guy. Yeah, please.
Good afternoon, sir.
Oh, from this lady, sorry, you've been waiting. Great. Please tell me.
Sir, my name is Rameli. I'm from Kolkata. So in one of your interview earlier, you said that when you were asked, are there any marketing rules to follow when communicating in your category? You answered, keep listening to your customer. So in a dynamic industries that we have right now, is it only possible for us to keep listening to our customers?
Hey, thanks. Interesting question. Guys, let me tell you something. When we say keep listening to your customers, okay, it doesn't necessarily mean that you only talk with them and understand what they are trying to get or what they want. So there are a lot of needs or wants of customers that they might not speak out. But unless you reach out to people who could be a prospective customers and try to understand their overall behavior, it's very tough to even know that they could need something. Now, see, today we have companies, so if you are referring to this guy, what's his name? The Apple guy. I'm sorry, Steve Jobs. I'm not his follower, let me tell you. I'm absolutely anti-Apple. I don't use Apple products. for some reasons. You know, in the IT industry, we take stances. No Apple for me. I'm only Google, okay? So it's like that. So whatever. So Steve Jobs, you know, he had famously made a statement that people don't know what they want. That's why we, you know, and see, he made it from a very different perspective. Let me tell you, I always like to say this. We look at an Apple phone, see, all the technology in it was already there. It is just that Apple made it great. I have worked in industrial, you know, automation sector for a long time. Whatever I see in that phone was already what we were using. There was the touch screen, their user interfaces, highly interactive, so on and so forth. I don't know if some of you have used a Windows CE phone, CE, you know, that's an embedded version of Windows. So a lot of technology was there. The greatness of Apple lies in fact that they converted into a format which was very exciting. Technology is not what Apple built on. When he made that statement, he was talking about a $500 or a $400 phone. People don't know what they want because when he was asked, why are we introducing a phone worth $400 or $500? People buy phones only for $100 or $200. Guys, how many such products and entrepreneurs do you know who make such statements? See, ideas, they come from somewhere, you know. So he was, let's say, a visionary, okay. But let me tell you, a majority of stuff which happens, it happens fundamentally from, see, what did they work on? They worked on usability, isn't it? They felt somewhere, he felt that users or people would like to have phones which were much easier to use, which could be more than just a phone. There are already phones like that, but they took it to the next level. They made it more attractive. They made it more desirable. It went from being just a phone to an accessory, isn't it? That's what happened with the iPhone. iPhone is more of an accessory. I see people use iPhones to make a fashion statement. But see, that's how it evolved. That is how it evolved. So when we say this, yes, I still stick to my point. I would say more than 99% and more businesses actually can be successful if they listen to their customer. When we say listen, it doesn't necessarily mean you always have a verbal communication with them. It's about understanding the intrinsic needs of your customers, because only when you work with them, interact with them, you tend to, over a period of time, somebody would tell you, boss, मेरे पास ना ये बहुत problem है. He doesn't want you to sort it, but he'll tell you that I have this problem. And you say, hey, if he has this, let me talk with 10 more people who are like, who do something similar to him and see if that's a common problem in that industry or in that category of users. एक बात बताइए, नोन है, कोई बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड बात नहीं है. अगर हमें एक ऐसी मशीन मिलती है जो हमारी मॉम जैसी चपाती बनाती है वैसी चपाती मशीन में बनने लगे, how many Indians would buy it at a reasonable price? Give me an honest answer. Everybody? Everybody would buy it. The only concern is it should make chapatis the way your mom makes it. Not, see, there are machines, you know, which make chapatis, but they don't actually end up, you know, tasting or being like what is made in वो घर में वो बेलन and so on so forth use करके जो बनता है. There is, see, वो need है, वो किसी को बताने की भी जरूरत नहीं है. But अगर कोई ऐसा innovation कर सकता है, be great, isn't it? It's not intrinsic, you know, in ऐसी demands है जो छुपी भी हुई नहीं है, ऐसी है. So it is very funny, you know. You guys see, have a very open mind when you look around yourself. Okay, that's what I would say. I don't think we have time to take questions. I like to take questions, but even, I mean, I've really skipped on time. Hey guys, thanks for being great listeners, and I liked your questions. I think with most this thing, this is 4th time I'm coming to your college, so this is the time I got most questions in all the sessions that I've done over here. It's great. Thanks. You guys seem to be interested in this. Yeah, sure.
Thank you, sir. Your session was absolutely enthralled us. It was a fascinating experience listening to you. We understand that marketing itself is a contest for people's attention. Thank you once again. A man is a pessimist determinist before lunch and an optimistic believer in the will's freedom after it. Let's part for lunch and be back soon. Thank you.